Hi guys, welcome to the fourth episode of After the Bump. My name is Ayanda Msomi and today our guest is Kopano. She's going to be telling us about her healing journey, how she's managing her time as a parent and all things beautiful with her playtime with her daughter. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the episode. Can you please introduce yourself, your name, your age, the age of your baby and how many kids you have. You can say the profession you're in if you're comfortable. And then we'll take it from there.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kopano and I am 26 years old. I have a 4-year-old. Well, she's turning 4 in December and I only have one kid. And I'm trying to contemplate if I want more. Still like wishy-washy on that.
Okay, this is an invasive question. You'd say if you'd want to answer it. Have you been pregnant before this baby?
Yes, I have.
Do you like to elaborate more on that?
So the first time when I was pregnant, I was actually 20.
Oh.
And I decided that no, I'm not going to keep the baby because I was just still schooling at that time. And then of course I had to deal with that alone, if anything. A lot of people don't know about it. It's literally just my close family. And literally when Imani came, I honestly feel like it was God saying, no, you actually meant to have a child at a young age. I don't know why, but hey, those things happen. But yes.
Was it easy making that decision at 20 or did you consult maybe with your mom or the partner you had at the time?
No, I did it alone. I literally did it alone. It was tough because, of course, at that time I was really young and I was kind of skeptical to have a conversation with my mom around that. Okay. So yeah.
And then have you had the conversation
after?
Yeah,
later.
And what was
she was hurt. She was deeply hurt, yeah.
And then how do you feel about it?
Today, I've grown so much from that, but it was very painful. At some point, I was very depressed as well because it's not that I just didn't want to have the kid, but I just felt I was too young. I had to finish my schooling. There was a lot of things that I wanted out of my life at that time. So I decided to do the best decision for myself and my partner at that time.
Okay, yeah. I think it's I don't want to say it's brave to do that, but I think it is brave to do that because in the society we live in, there's always this expectation because once you're pregnant, you're going to have the baby.
Yes.
And if you go the other route, then you're not a good person or whatever the case is. I'm going to say I'm happy that you were able to make that decision and your life has turned out the way it has.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I had no idea. So my next question was, because I know you stay with your child.
Yes, I do.
So I was going to ask you, how are you today as a parent? How are you feeling today?
How am I feeling?
Yeah.
I feel confident. I feel very fulfilled, if anything, and very proud that I'm a parent, even though fine, I'm a young parent, but I think the joy of my daughter calling me mom and calling my mom ugogo makes me very happy because a lot of the times, especially when you have a young child, your child ends up calling your mom umama and I'm just ukopano.
Yes.
Call me by my name. So for me, it's those little joys when I come back from work or she comes back from school and I'm working from home and Mama, how are you? And I'm just like, wow, this is so fulfilling. At first it was tough, of course, just like any first-time mom. It wasn't easy. The first year was horrible. I was indoors 99% of the time.
I'm sorry to disturb you. Were you indoors because of COVID or just you?
No. I was indoors because, of course, it's also a bit of a culture thing, of course, as well. The first 3 months you can't really be around. But then, of course, after that, I just felt like I wanted to be by myself and really learn this mom thing and journey by myself. I didn't even really go out with my friends a lot that first year. I hardly went out in general. I was just cooped up in my place, being a mom, pushing KPRM at the same time, which was a lot. It was hectic. But yeah, that's basically what I was doing. But now, from where I started, if I look back, I'm very happy as to how the progression has been and how much I've grown and how much my child loves me and knows that I'm her mom.
And then the time you were cooped up in the house, was there anyone helping you or you were alone the whole time? What was happening?
No, of course. I had, I think if anything, another thing that really kept me going was my family, my immediate family. At first, even though it was a bit of a shock and a disappointment, they got over it eventually and they became super, super supportive. My mom was there for me, my sister. So I live with my mom at the moment still. I'm only moving out towards the end of the year because I wanted to save properly. I didn't want to just leave and then end up coming back. We don't want that. So I decided to stay long enough to be confident enough to know that when I move out, I will be 100% okay with my child, because I don't want to move and then leave my child with her. Okay. So that's why I thought, you know what, I'm just rather going to stay longer to save so that when I leave, I leave with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said that it was a disappointment. I just wanted to ask,
yes.
How old were you?
I was 22.
You're 22.
2 years later.
2 years
my
later.
First,
oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. No, I do get that. And then just moving on to the pregnancy time. How was the pregnancy? Like,
the pregnancy was great. If anything, the only thing that was a bit of a tumultuous situation was, of course, the reaction from my family, because they didn't expect me to get pregnant at such a young age. Okay. And of course, that was the time when I didn't even disclose what happened the first time.
Oh, okay.
I only disclosed after Imani was even born, when I finally told them the story about that. So yeah, there were, I think from my mom and my brother's perspective, they wanted more for me, which I understand. Outside looking in, if I had a kid or if I had a child, and then, or if Uimani had to get pregnant at 22, I'd be shocked as well. Like, oh my gosh, I wanted more for you, etc., which I understood. But little did they know that my character never really changed. Fine, I did get a child young, but it was not the end of the world, you know, technically. So even till this day, literally my mom and my brother always have this conversation with me. They're like, we cannot believe that your story turned out this way. We thought you were gonna be a burden and things were just not gonna be great. Till this day, my brother even offers to say, listen, do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? Because I've always been so intentional in trying to create a better life for myself and my daughter. Till this day.
Yeah, that's beautiful to hear. Would you say having your daughter at the time you heard her
yes.
also helped push you to like work harder and
of
be
course,
where you are now?
Of course, yeah.
Is it 3 businesses or 4?
No, it's just two.
It's just 2?
2 and 1 organization that I just started.
Okay.
It's an NGO. Yeah.
Okay, you're doing so good.
Thank you so much.
I actually wanted to ask about that, like, because most of your businesses, I think none of them has crossed 5 years. Am I right?
The first one just did.
Just did.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
cool.
Just did.
How do you balance the time to parent? Because I'm going to say parent, play,
yes.
and work.
Yes.
Those 3 things.
Woo! Oh my gosh, to be quite honest, I think I'm so grateful that I run an online business. Okay. So working from home really helps a lot. So she's at creche at the moment, so it's also easier for me. So when I get home, I make sure that when I'm working, I work as much as possible and maybe cut off latest by 4 o'clock so that I know when she comes back from school, I've done what I needed to do for the day. I don't even work too much well over into the evening. It's only when I feel like we have a really big project and I have to really prioritize the time. But usually my weekends and my after hours are like literally non-negotiable. That's mom time now. That's where I take off the business hat and I have to put on my mom hat. Might be exhausted sometimes because it's not easy. I'm a human being at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I try my best to create a balance. And funny enough, even though I live with my mom, do you know that I parent my child? Like my mom doesn't have time. She's like, skankbor. Nah, I didn't ask you to bring this child. So do what you have to do. Yes, she's a great gogo, of course. She will always help me when I need to. But also the assistance from her dad is also very much appreciated. Every weekend they're together, or whenever he's free during the week, he'd come and get her or fetch her from school, etc. So also that helps me quite a lot. So it's not like I'm in this 100% alone. So yeah.
How has your co-parenting journey been? How did you approach it? Like this is like maybe for someone who's like, I don't want to do this. How did you approach? How did you approach it? How has it been working out for you? Just
so it was a bit awkward at first because I don't want to disclose fully because of course I don't want to make my baby daddy feel too uncomfortable sharing that side of the story. Okay. But I think at first it was a bit awkward for both of us, but mostly him. Okay. But we worked it out. If anything, there wasn't any drama or any back and forth like around putting Imani in the whole mix of what had happened between us. If anything, we both knew the priority was our kid, and we made sure that we would always, take care of her and put her first. So at first it was awkward, like I was saying. It was very awkward. But we naturally it started just working. So for me, it was like a telling sign that, you know what, as much as a certain aspect didn't work out, regardless, what you've brought together is something beautiful, so it will work out.
Oh, that's a nice way. And then now that you are a parent, because I think from everything you've said, from everything you've said, you are a very present parent.
Yes, I am.
And then I would love to hear what is your view or your take on what actually is a present parent.
So for me, a present parent is someone that is going to be there for their child emotionally more than anything. Of course, financially will always be there because that's how the life is set up, right? But for me, what really brings presence is when your child can be themselves around you, tell you things, just be whoever they want to be around you. And if anything, right now my child is very young, of course, but I'm planning to create a space for her to be herself and always tell me things, if anything, because what I've experienced just from friends and having friends and growing up and all of that, I'm very close to my mom, not really close to my dad at all, if anything. But what I realized is that a lot of the time, if your child is not close to you, there's a lot of things that she or he will be doing that you're not even aware of that could also potentially put them in danger.
Yeah.
So you need to create that space for them to easily open up and say, Mom, honestly, I think today I did something bad, but I'm not too sure. Can I talk to you? Whereas for them to just keep quiet or just
and you never
block
know.
it out, and then you just like, oh, my child is just, such a great child. Everything is fine, I think we're having a great relationship or anything like that. That's what usually our parents did. And honestly speaking, I don't even blame them because they were raised in the same way.
Yeah.
A lot of things were different back then. How we're parenting today is completely different from how they parent. Even my mom tells me, she's like, your parenting style is quite different, but hey, it's new times.
Yeah, different
And I'm
times.
like, yes, but I do believe the fundamentals will never change about parenting, which we've learned from our parents. The fundamentals won't change, but there's certain aspects that just need to change to align to the times of today. And sometimes I get very scared because I'm raising a female child in South Africa. It's not safe. And the world is just moving so fast. You can see these 2Ks, guys, they're just shocking me. Like, they're doing things like, I understand growing up, we liked things or you'd want to experiment, but now it's gotten to a point where they're experimenting just too fast.
Too early.
Too early. Everything is just too fast. So I'm just thinking, if this is where we're at now, where are we going to be by the time my child is even 15, 14? But I don't want to think like that. I try my best not to think about that too much.
Yeah, that was actually my leading question. How do you make sure you don't impose your feelings of safety and being scared to the child? Because the child at this point, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
They're just happy to be here.
Yeah.
So how do you
honestly
protect
speaking,
that line where you're like, I'm trying to protect you, but I'm also not going to impose my fears on you because you don't know anything.
That's very true. If anything, because I think of the age that she's at, when I'm saying, listen, don't do this, even though fine, they're curious, but she'll listen, be like, okay, mommy said I shouldn't do this, even though sometimes it can end up being a whole fight. But she ends up not doing it. But sometimes I sit by myself and I wonder, how will I actually be when she's like a teenager, like 12, 13? I always think about that because those are the times where now you need to discern, is it my fears that I'm projecting on her or am I genuinely trying to, safeguard her? But I always try to think that, and I think what will help you is that as a parent, you need to heal in order for that
period
to work. So for me, I'm working very long and hard on myself and my fears and all my limiting stuff, whether it's through my spirituality, through yoga, through exercise, whatever it is, or through journaling, all of that. I feel like I'm so intentional about it now so that by the time she's older, I've literally healed so much that now I can discern if I'm like, Kopano, you're just projecting here. Okay, this is fine because you have to be a parent at the end of the day. So yeah, like right now it's a bit of a catch-22 because she's still young.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would be in a more fitting position to answer when she's older, because now, that's when now it's really gonna. That's when the real parenting test really starts for me personally. Yeah.
You spoke about there are certain fundamental things that will never change when it comes to parenting. Are there things that you took from your mom that you are doing right now? You'd like to share?
Absolutely. So my mom was raised by her grandmother, so I think that's enough to tell you that she's strict. My mom was very strict, guys.
Okay.
Even when I was growing up, she was strict. She was cool, but she was strict. I don't know how to explain my mom.
No, I see those parents.
She was a vibe, but don't think you know. You know, it was always it was that type of vibe with her. But what I took from her was definitely her strictness, or her discipline, her order, that love for order, and really playing your role well. If you know you're a female in the house, you have to do certain things. If you know, even for me, I know when we were growing up, we didn't really have gender roles. Like, my brothers go and play soccer and we do it. We did everything in the house. But if anything, from a more of a feminine perspective, her being a matriarch, she knew how to carry herself because of how her granny, taught her around how you need to carry yourself, how do you safeguard yourself, etc. So I took a lot of that from her. If anything, I feel like that's why I'm also who I am today. Outside of me getting a child young, I haven't really done anything like crazy or something that would literally twist my entire destiny or path, if anything. So some of those characteristics of being disciplined, orderly, manners. Please and thank you. Please don't do it. Don't even try.
And kids of today,
Exactly. It's a bit of a problem.
I know.
It's a bit of a problem. And now we're raising kids where we're speaking English. So at home we speak English, we speak Tswana as well. But because we're in Midrand and a lot of things we work, we speak English. Sometimes we bring it back home. And now she's going to school and they speak English. And she's like, no, mommy, it's please and thank you. And I'm like, oh God, guys, the kids we're raising today. Oh my God. But yeah, it's different, but the fundamentals still stick. The respect, just the manners, the order, the strictness, but not too much, because I don't want to be too strict like how my mom was. Certain things I will not take, but some things I will definitely take openly. Yes.
Okay, that's beautiful. And then I think we're now approaching towards the end. This is just a question relating back to your pregnancy. You spoke about healing and projecting. Looking back at your pregnancy, are there any things that you wish you had actually started doing back then? Like you spoke about journaling, doing yoga, meditating.
Yes.
Are there certain things you wish you had done then? And if there are, what are those things and how were they? How do you think they were going to help you at the time?
I would definitely have done yoga earlier.
During pregnancy?
Yeah, during pregnancy. I feel like I would have done that during pregnancy, and maybe taking my meditation even more seriously, and gratitude writing more intensely as well. Because throughout my pregnancy, even though it was like physically I was like I mean at the time when I was pregnant, because I was working, I was in an internship at that time. I was literally catching taxis, jumping over water puddles if there was like I was me, but I just had a bit of a weight in front of me. But emotionally it was a bit of it was quite a tough one. So if I had those tools, I think emotionally I would have been better. But I do feel that I'm not scarred completely. I think I've got up now and I'm okay. But yeah.
No, I think what you said is very important, because we never speak, or rather, people never pay attention to how you can easily project on a kid. Without even seeing that you're actually projecting. So I think that's a very beautiful thing you said, Uguti. Our healing is not just for us, but it's also to protect the kids from ourselves. Because you don't know what you're imparting to the kid.
Absolutely.
So no, I really loved hearing that. And then just moving on to what has changed the most on your parenting journey from when you started to now. In you as a mom.
Patience. Patience, girl. So I was always impatient before I even became a mom. So I had to work on my patience. I had to work on my I don't know how to word this, but I think, yeah, it actually goes back to patience, if anything. I mostly had to work on my patience, because if I was impatient, then I would become too temperamental. But now that I have the patience, now that falls away completely. So it really, I really was taught patience. Jeez, yeah, I was.
This was your journey to learn how to be patient.
Yes, to be patient.
No, I get that. All right, this is just one last light question, and then we're going to do the letter. You incorporate a whole lot of play with your child.
Yes.
You play a lot.
Yeah.
What did you say is inspiring you to do that a lot? I mean, I do understand the value of it, but like I think that how we get to that as people is not the same.
Yes.
So how did you get to that?
Absolutely. So for me, playtime is a time for me to also distress in some sort of way. Because as adults, you grow up now, you have to be serious. Now you can't even play. When you play, you're just like, oh, that's so weird. No, it's not weird. It's actually good for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, it basically heals my inner child at the same time, playing with my kid, bonding with her. And also sometimes, funny enough, it actually allows me to be more creative.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's say, for instance, that particular week, I have a creative block and I don't know what's going on. Then I decide to play with her or just do anything outside, because she loves outside. Then all of a sudden, ideas will just come to me. And I'm like, oh, geez, okay, there's a solution. So I think playtime, it really encourages just being. As much as you're an adult and you have so much stresses, you literally let loose and just de-stress. And it also allows you to literally become more creative, because you have more time to breathe. You're not so, so I think, honestly speaking, playtime with her is, of course, to build a relationship with her, that intimacy between mother and child, but it also helps me with my own inner child, just to really be free.
All right, no, that's beautiful. I think you've shared some very beautiful things today.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to the letter.
Sure.
So I gave you two options. It's either you are writing now to your younger self, or you are writing then to your older self who is here now.
Yes.
So you can...
So I wrote it to my younger self, to where I am now. Yes. So I said, dear baby Kopi, you'd be so proud of how far you've come in this present moment. I just want to say that you're loving yourself more than ever now, putting yourself first and making you happy. You've turned your pain into power and used it as a fuel to succeed, better yourself by being a good mom to your child, and really getting to know who you've always been. You have used your fears to focus on the positive and to always see the light in the darkness. And finally, your doubts about how you are going to achieve your dreams have pushed you to grow stronger in your faith. I love you so much, and I'll keep doing things that make you happy. Love, young woman Kopi.
Oh, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Was it easy to write it?
No, it wasn't. I kept writing and then I remove it, remove it. But I got to a place.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for creating the space, actually.
All right, no, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I had such a lovely conversation with Kopano. I think I also learned a lot. I loved what she said when she was speaking about healing herself so that she doesn't project on her kid. I think we can all try to incorporate that in our healing journeys so that we can be better parents. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. I'll see you on the next one.